Thomas, how are you? How was your summer break?
It was fantastic. I had a good summer. I went on holiday, so no, I had a fantastic break.
Usually when players get to the end of May, they are desperate for a break after a long season. Was that slightly different for you this year because of the injury?
Maybe yes, because I started at the end of the season. I started to get fitter and fitter, and it felt to me like it just started because at the end I played 2 games. But for me, it felt like it just started and everything has to come. So that was a little bit strange, but at the end, I trained a lot this year because I was in the gym all the time, so my body was tired as well. So it was good that I could go on holiday and clear my mind because it was a difficult year for me and start all over again to this year.
You described last season as horrible for obvious reasons, but the important thing was you did get on the pitch for those last 2 games. How important was it to get those games under your belt?
That was really important for me because it gives you a good feeling. If I didn't play the last 2 games, I would go into my holiday with a bad feeling. But I could feel at the end of the season, the last few weeks, I was really fit and I felt great. So I was happy. The boss gave me the confidence and put me into the team.
Back in training this week then, what kind of work have you been doing so far?
A lot of stuff, especially physical work to build up your physical ability again, and yeah, that's the most important in the first weeks, and that's what we did this week. A lot of running and hard work.
This is the foundations you put in for the season
Yeah.
ahead. How sharp do you feel now, and how long does it take to get to your best in pre-season?
Yeah, that depends on each person, I think. But yeah, you had a break for 4 weeks, and I think if you are fit at the end of the season, you don't lose that much. I think you will lose a little bit, but in a few weeks you're fit again. So maybe after 1 or 2 weeks you feel already good.
So Asia Tour, just around the corner. What are your expectations of China and Malaysia?
Yeah, I've been there once in China and for the Olympic Games, so it was a nice experience. It's a different culture, of course, and it's always nice to go there and learn about their culture. It's something different what we're used to, and so I'm looking forward to go there.
What have you heard about the Arsenal fans over there?
I've heard the Premier League is really popular there. I think everybody's watching the games, and I heard Arsenal is really popular as well. So that's a reason why we go there.
Of course, Austria, you had plenty of people come to watch your training sessions, but I gather anything up to 30,000 could be at the training sessions
Yeah.
in China. That would be incredible for
That
training.
would be amazing, and it will be a good atmosphere to train on. If you train for 30,000 people, normally we don't train for nobody, and now we go on the pitch and train for 30,000 people. That's amazing.
Lots of travelling involved this year, especially compared to last year. Is that something that bothers you at all?
Yeah, it's not nice to travel a lot. Of course, it's not the best for your body. But if you can have this kind of experience in Malaysia and China, it's worth it, I think. And so it doesn't bother me to travel a lot for this kind of experience.
And the Emirates Cup is the first game on home soil, first 2 games I should say, Boca Juniors and New York Red Bulls. Two
Yeah.
very different kinds of teams, two very different kinds of challenges.
Yeah, different. Yeah, I think so. They are both different teams. Yeah, and these are the first games we play at the Emirates in this season, and it's always a new start, and it feels like that. So I'm looking forward to play there.
You say about it being a new start. At this time of year, everything is possible, isn't it? There's optimism, everyone is hungry, everyone is sharp, anything can happen.
Yeah, everybody start from zero, and everybody has to start again, and you get a new chance, and that's always a good feeling when people give you a chance to win something. And the past is behind us, and it's always good to look into the future, and that's what we do now. We start all over again this season. We get a new chance, and we go for it this year.
As for you, Thomas, you've always got that hunger to do well, but is there an extra determination this year because of what happened to you last year?
Personally, yes, of course. I played a lot of games in my first year, and I hope to do well in my second year. And unfortunately, I had a big injury, and I couldn't play a lot, so I couldn't show the people a lot. And I'm determined to go on the pitch this year and fight for it. Yeah.
People talk about Arsenal last year. If you looked at last year's games, where would you say is the one thing that the club, the team, needs to improve?
That's difficult to say because it's sometimes we had a little bit of bad luck as well. If you look maybe 4 or 5 weeks before the end of the season, or maybe a little bit longer, we were playing for the title, and we had a good chance to win it. And the last few weeks we lost it. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons why we didn't win it, but it's difficult to say exactly one thing. And yeah, it's sometimes you have bad luck, and it's a balance. You know, sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes bad, and then last year he went bad. So what can you say? I think overall at the beginning of the season, a long time of the season, we were doing really well, and we were playing for the title, as a champion, and we lost it at the end of the season.
If you read the papers and you believe what you read in the papers, Arsenal have all sorts of issues at the moment. What's the reality here at the training ground?
Yeah, that's difficult to say. You hear a lot in the papers, people going, people coming. So we don't know a lot because it's up to the boss, it's up to the people from the club to decide who's coming and who's leaving. So we don't know more than you guys. We only focused on our training these following weeks, and that's it. And we will see what's gonna happen.
A couple of new faces in training. Carl Jenkinson's coming from Charlton. Rio Miyachi has done well in the Dutch league, and he's come over here as well. I know you've not done much ball work, but what are your impressions of them so far?
Yeah, we did a lot of physical work, and you could see Carl is really fit, and especially today we did a maximum test, and he was I think he was the first, so that shows he's physically ready for the Premier League, I think. And if you look at Rio, yeah, I've seen him a few times in the Dutch league because I can follow it really well, and he did well in Feyenoord. The crowd loved him there, and some friends of mine they play with him, and they said he's a good guy, and technically he's really good. So I'm looking forward to know them better the following weeks when we play more games and train more with the ball.
Rio is very young, but he's done a lot already. What kind of a player is he? He's quite direct.
He's really a technical player. I think he's I don't know his position exactly. I think he's more a winger. In Holland he played as a winger, and technically he's really well. 1 against 1, he's really dangerous, and I think he can score goals as well.
One notable departure so far, Gael Clichy. How much of a loss will he be?
Yeah, it's a big loss, of course. Gael is a great player, and he done a good job for Arsenal, I think. And it's always a shame good players leaving. But I wish him all the best at Man City, and that's his choice, of course. And I wish he could stay more years here at Arsenal because he was a good player.